In this video we're going to be talking about quickshifters. We'll look at what they are, how they compare to a clutchless upshift, and also how to actually perform that technique. Stay tuned. So first, what is a quickshifter? In basic terms, a quickshifter is designed to make upshifting quicker and simpler. Now there are various different types of quickshifter, with certain types needed depending on the bike you have and the gear shifting arrangement, but they're all designed to do the same thing: to momentarily and automatically reverse the load on the drivetrain when you perform an upshift. What this does is allow you to perform a quick and slick upshift without having to touch the clutch or roll off the throttle. Now it does this through a special sensor or switch that sits either in line with the shifter or through a linear arrangement. Now in truth, I don't think any rider outside of high-level racing would declare that they purchased a quickshifter in order to go faster. The main reason a track day rider would typically opt for such an upgrade is purely for the enjoyment factor and the fact that it makes life a little bit easier when going up the gears on the straights or between corners. So the alternative, if you don't have a quickshifter, is the clutchless upshift technique. Now this technique is essentially achieving the same thing as a quickshifter, only you're doing it manually. Instead of the quickshifter cutting the ignition or fuel for you to reverse the load on the transmission, you simply do it yourself by rolling off the throttle as you upshift. Now for those unaware, or for those that wish to learn this technique, this is how the sequence goes. As the needle gets close to your desired shift RPM, assuming you're using a normal road shift pattern, apply a small but firm amount of upward pressure to the shift lever. When the needle gets to your shift RPM, roll off the throttle slightly, then straight back on again. You don't need to roll right off to the opposite stop, it's just enough to reverse the load on the transmission so the next gear slips into place. And when I say reverse the load, I mean the throttle position where the bike would begin to slow down. And then finally, once completed successfully, take the pressure off the shift lever so the next gear can be indexed, and you can do it all again when the needle next reaches the limiter. And that's it. This is a technique that's been around for decades in the racing world, and one that if done correctly is perfectly safe for you to use. Now to the untrained ear, there's very little perceptible difference in efficiency and the duration of the upshift. So do you need a quickshifter? Speaking from experience, I rode for thousands of miles on the track without a quickshifter, and through all that time I wondered what all the fuss was about when I was thinking about it logically. However, when I moved to a newer bike that had one, I loved it immediately. With the throttle pinned, the changes not only felt a little bit more slick, but it all felt a lot more satisfying too. Now in terms of actual benefits, my occasional messy upshifts were a thing of the past, and on the occasions where I needed to make a quick upshift between two corners for instance, it made it feel a bit easier. In truth, having now experienced both over the years, while I wouldn't be upset if I didn't have one, I'd pick a quickshifter every single time given the choice. And it's also worth mentioning that many quickshifters are now handling downshifts too with auto blipping, so the case is only getting stronger for quickshifters as technology improves. With that finishes our look at quickshifters versus the old-fashioned clutchless upshift. What are your thoughts on these options, and what experiences do you have with them? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like the video, hit the button and subscribe to the channel for more performance riding advice and guides moving forward. See you in the next one.